Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Lancescurv. Just want to say and just thank everybody who was here last night that I enjoyed myself. And that would probably be the afternoon, late afternoon on the East Coast and the earlier afternoon on the West Coast of the United States. I love these types of shows. I love when we talk some sense, not just small talk or just every other word a curse and just foolishness. You know what I mean? I like to talk sense. And I don't mind fiery language. Giant Game, welcome on in. Whoa, she just got right on in that bad boy. This is quite an addiction for me. Yes, it is, because of the love that we share here. And it's something I just love doing. It brings me great joy. I never thought that me coming online as an artist, I would end up doing something called a talk show. Because back then you had really crude type ways of talking with people, and you had to hit codes and call on your phone, but it was nothing like this. Let me just say, for example, there's a power blinkage, like 5 seconds the power goes out, everything gets shut down, and then I'm going to have to come back on again. So if you hear my sound go out like that, just let everybody know, those who are here, that that's what it is, and I'll be right back, but I can't talk enough, and I'm so sorry, Giant Gain. I was supposed to show you a few things. Oh, man. No, I'm not going to just keep saying tomorrow for sure. Tomorrow for sure. I had some things that were distracting in a sense, not anything major. It's just that the day went smooth, but I had little things, little small things. It's the small things that kind of take your mind away, but nothing cataclysmic or whatever. No emergencies, nothing like that. Reese, welcome on in. Great to see you. Yes. I'll give a few seconds for everybody to file on in. Then I'm going to read through some jotted down notes. We're going to go deep. And, it having firsthand experience with a narcissist, many, but really like public, but not any public exchange, but many know, what it is. It was really a learning experience, and it makes me know how aggravated many of these people are. Just want to say welcome on in from the Dominican Republic, NFN Shaka. We got the worldwide international thing going on over here. And Nika G, Oshira Peace here. Yes, indeed. We're going to do this. Diane. Like that commercial I always talk about. Oh, Diane. I'm going to find that old commercial. I know I can find it somewhere. Somebody uploaded that on YouTube. I know I'll be able to find that. It's funny because there's another commercial jingle from the 70s, like the middle 70s, and it's just a radio thing. And it's bugging me because I'm hearing it in my head and I want to find it. And when somebody doesn't upload it, you can't find it. And you're trying to tell people, remember this one? And they remember it, but they forgot about it, but it was in that time. So my brain goes back, and I'm just a lover of music and jingles and situations and people. There's so many people that may not be with us that I remember in my head, musics and these situations. So this is why I like this type of medium, because I can kind of talk about those things and flow with it, and it's wonderful. But yeah, I'm gonna take my eyes off of the actual chat room for a second and just start reading into certain things here. Let me position everything just right so I'm comfortable. Whoa, I'm dropping stuff over here. Wait a second. Hold on. Wait a minute. And why is this keyboard way over there where I need it? Let me just, my desk, I don't care how uncluttered it was, just give me a day or two. It's cluttered, but it's cluttered in a way where it makes sense because I'm putting work in. See a piece of paper with names and numbers written down on it, codes and different things. That's just the way it is, But yeah, again, says no biggie. I'm here whenever I receive a notification for this show, and this topic is worth many reasons. Yes, it is. Not even just because I'm the one doing it. It's been done so many times, but I just want to bring something a little different, maybe between the talking points, some different thoughts and stuff like that. But this is something this is a major thing because there's so many narcissists out here. And they're destroying lives. And while many of us have recovered from their attacks, which start out like, really sweet. And it doesn't mean, let me just get this straight. It doesn't mean just romantic relationships. It could be friendships. It can be in-laws. It can be a narcissistic child. It could be a narcissistic parent. It could be anybody, a parent, anybody. And when you go through these relationships or proximity ships, right? Could be a neighbor, right? Sometimes you don't know what it is and you feel rotten, because what did you do wrong? Well, we're going to talk about all those things now. I'm going to read off some things and pause in between. That's what I kind of laid down today, and I did. I said I want to bring some good points, and I'm going to take my sweet time. I got my water here with the lemon water. Just ate some brown rice. Yes, I did. Some vegetables. And, I'm good. I'm good. High-level malignant narcissists are among the most dangerous individuals to get involved with, whether in a romantic relationship, friendship, or even within a family. They have mastered the art of deception, making them nearly impossible to detect until it's too late. Their charm, intelligence, and cunning make them appear as though they were tailor-made for you. But beneath the surface lies a dark, predatory nature that seeks to control, manipulate, and eventually destroy those they ensnare. This discussion aims to thoroughly detail every stage of a relationship with a high-level malignant narcissist, from the initial honeymoon phase to the eventual emotional devastation. By understanding the tactics these individuals use and how the victims feel every step of the way, listeners can better protect themselves from falling into their clutches or begin the process of healing if they've already been victimized. And I wanted to cover everything because most of us know what it is, and some know part of it. But I really want to do this show for all of us here, right? But for those who have no clue, so that they might be listening to it, and they might be one of the people who are listening to it, say, wait a second, I'm with a narcissist. And toward the end, I want to do some things that would prevent one from coming towards you, right? So we're going to take our time and go through this with a fine-tooth comb. The alluring honeymoon phase. At the beginning of a relationship with a high-level malignant narcissist, everything seems perfect. The narcissist will go out of their way to charm you, showering you with affection, compliments, and gifts. Let that sink in. They may even seem too good to be true, almost as if they were created just for you. This phase is known as love bombing, and it is the narcissist's way of securing their grip on you. And, narcissists are not the only ones who do love bombing. You go to a church, not every church, but, you get love bombed when you're the new member, on cue. The ushers and those women there who have been there for a while, they make sure on top of the love that the pastor appears to bring to you by acknowledging you and you're welcome here and this is your family. Everybody's smiling at you. They're hugging on you. Welcome to the church. We love you. We want to come by your home. You're always welcome. You're part of the family now. And when most people go to a church initially, I'm not saying all the time, but those who just walk in cold turkey, they've been going through something. And that love bombing feels so good. But that's another story because we can go a different direction with the church, right? Let's start out with this part, how the victim feels. And I'm putting this part first because we want to deal initially with the person who is the victim of the narcissist. They may just be feeling it a little bit. Maybe the honeymoon love bombing phase is over. So I wanted to start from there again for that gentleman or young lady. And I have to say we have narcissistic women. Tracy J, welcome on in. I just made it to the plantation parking lot. I'm getting ready to leave work. I'm listening to this as I drive home. We're glad you're listening and you're here. Like I said, I'm going to do these shows 7 days a week. I love the fellowship. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you so much. And I would say from my point of view, we have narcissistic women, but to me, and for those in the future who say, oh, you always simping for women, shut up. This is the way it is. It's usually the men who are going after the women that are narcissists. Like, again, we do have narcissistic women. And I can't tell you the proportion. I can't tell you the percentage, but we do know we have them. Like I said, we have narcissistic kids, narcissistic to the parents. So it could be anybody. But it just seems to me, and many don't have to agree, that that's just my point of view, that it seems to be more men controlling the women and being this way to the women. How the victim feels. Overwhelmed by the attention and affection, the victim feels as though they found their soulmate. And that's the word that usually comes up. And narcissists will use that word too, knowing good and darn well that's not the deal. They begin to overlook any minor red flags because the narcissist behavior is so intoxicating. See that word intoxicating? You'll feel intoxicated and you'll feel high, and it will make you overlook those minor red flags. Sometimes major red flags because you're thirsty. I'm not putting anybody down by saying that, but we're all emotional beings. We're human beings. And I made a little video short that I have yet to put up on YouTube about that, about loneliness and how it makes us accept things that we don't usually accept. You know, those no-name brand crackers from the supermarket in the box, the generic brand. You'll walk past that and get the Ritz crackers, or you'll get the other type of crackers, right? When you broke and when you're hungry, that no-name brand does the trick, and it's good. You understand? So when you're a little lonely and thirsty, it's kind of like a put-down word. I'm not trying to put anybody down who's the victim of a narcissist, right? Chance Rogers, yes. We're here with you, brother. Glad you're here. We be scurving him and swerving him. Oh, man. He comes to terms. I swear I'm going to bust out with some T-shirts. I am. See what I mean when I do T-shirts? It's not like I'm do one every day. I used to do them on the shows, like maybe if somebody said something phenomenal, I'll whip one up. But I want to make some designs and draw some things and, whip out this old dusty digital pad that I have and stuff like that. So we'll see. But I want to have some real unique things that you'll say, dang, I want to get that. And again, the profit margin will be low. And I'll explain that so people don't think, oh, he always trying to sell something. He always trying to get money from people. The company I go through, I'm trying to link it up to the YouTube channel, but they seem to be giving me a little problem with that. But the company that I go through, if they make the shirt and it's $8, then you decide, because they're going to ship it, take returns, they do all the work, all they do is hide it. So why I got to charge $15 more than me? I'm trying to make a lot of shirts and get them worn. I may make it $1 or $2 profit. So I may sell it for 10. Whatever the price it is to make it, I'm not trying to kill nobody. You know what I mean? I want you to have the whole inequality, brands and stuff that they print on. But what's the point? And I've looked at this boxing page the other day, and I know the deal. And I saw the company they work through, and I can look at the prices initially, and that's a good deal. They take care of everything. I'm in Ghana. How am I going to ship something from over here over there and keep it low? That's an American company, and the majority of people that we buying it will be in America. And they ship internationally also. But what's the point? People just trying to dog people out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So let me just continue on. Okay. The victim feels incredibly lucky and begins to emotionally invest heavily into the relationship. Of course, you meet somebody who makes you feel good and tailor-made for you. I mean, you can put any key in the lock and it doesn't work. But when you put the right key in the right lock, it opens it up and oh man, this is, they finish every sentence you start. They seem to know what you're thinking. It's a heck of a thing. And I realized that I've been in a relationship with a female narcissist. You know what I mean? And she, I mean, this was a long time ago, but I didn't know that, and she controlled me through the intimacies and other things. And, It wasn't outright though. It was very subtle because I ain't dumb. But at the end of the day, friends of mine and myself, we talked that knew her. Like, man, she was just using you, not for money, not for anything like that. But that's a long story, yo. Some of y'all might know that. I'm gonna get into that on a maybe not on YouTube, because YouTube is getting real strict on certain things, and this is a very adult type of thing. And I want to be raw with it, not just to be raw for shock effect. I just want to speak freely. What I'll do, one thing I want to ask you all, because this is going to be a longer show, pick a night that's best for you to do a conference line. And the conference line will not be put up on YouTube. It'll be a public conference line. And I'll probably put it on Patreon or the membership page or both. And maybe not the membership page, because that's still YouTube, right? And I want to tell everybody that if you don't want to go on the membership page, you don't have to. When I start, just do everything on Patreon. I might take that down. You know what I mean? Because they funny. You never know when YouTube is narcissistic. There should be no other gods before me. That's the way they are, right? Now let's get to the narcissist operation. Narcissist operation. The narcissist studies you closely, learning your likes, dislikes, weaknesses, and desires. They mirror your personality and interests to create a deep connection, making you believe you found someone who truly understands you. They build you up with praise and admiration to create an emotional dependency. Once the narcissist has you securely in their grasp, the relationship begins to change. The charm fades, and the true nature of the narcissist starts to emerge. They become more critical, distant, and controlling. However, these changes are often so gradual that the victim doesn't immediately notice what's happening. How the victim feels: confused and anxious, wondering what they did wrong to cause the narcissist to change. They begin to doubt themselves, thinking they're the problem in the relationship. The victim becomes desperate to regain the affection and attention they once received, often trying to please the narcissist more. The narcissist operation at this point, the narcissist begins to devalue you, subtly criticizing and belittling you to lower your self-esteem. They may start isolating you from friends and family, making you more dependent on them. The narcissist engages in gaslighting, causing you to question your reality and perceptions. The victim's spiraling downfall. As the relationship progresses, the victim finds themselves in a state of constant turmoil. The narcissist's manipulative tactics have taken a toll, leaving the victim emotionally drained, confused, and helpless. The narcissist may also engage in triangulation, where they bring in a third party to further manipulate and control the victim. How the victim feels: emotionally exhausted, feeling as though they are walking on eggshells. They feel trapped in the relationship, unable to leave because they're emotionally dependent on the narcissist. The victim's self-worth is shattered, and they may even start to believe they deserve the treatment they're receiving. The narcissist ramps up the gaslighting and manipulation, making the victim feel more isolated and dependent. They may threaten to leave or discard the victim, creating fear and anxiety. The narcissist alternates between affection and cruelty to keep the victim off balance and more controllable. The final blow: discard and aftermath. Once the narcissist has extracted all the emotional energy and resources they can from the victim, they will discard them without a second thought. This can happen suddenly and without warning, leaving the victim devastated and confused. The narcissist may move on to a new victim almost immediately, showing no resource for the pain they've caused. How the victim feels: devastated, feeling as though their entire world has collapsed. They may experience depression, anxiety, and a deep sense of betrayal. The victim often blames themselves for the relationship's failure, not realizing they were manipulated from the start. Let me tell you something. I'm watching this play out in a particular situation, and the supply, that new person in this particular narcissist's life, is now arrogant because they feel they got it made. And they're totally dependent, not just emotionally dependent, but they have nothing that they're bringing to the table. Not that one has to, when I say it that way, not like these guys, what you bring to the table. I'm saying as far as bringing to the table and securing themselves, they have nothing going on for them. They left where they were, came to a new country, and completely dependent on this very controlling narcissist who's making her feel as though she's in charge, she's better, and she's lucky to have him, when she doesn't know that he has a long run of this type of behavior with all types of women. But he has to have one that is completely dependent to serve his needs on all levels. But when he gets rid of her, probably the only thing that he'll hand her is enough money for a meal and a plane ticket back home. And she's also a flying monkey, a term used for those who are believers in a narcissist, who will go after the perceived enemies of the narcissist, not realizing that you're defending the narcissist, and will call others around who are the enemies, perceived enemies, call them narcissists, and she goes around saying that they're narcissists. It's a heck of a story. And I can't believe I'm watching this play out in front of my very eyes. I don't wish bad on anybody, but 2 + 2 is always 4. Let me just look at the chat room real quick. Yeah. Been shadow banned and blocked for a long time now. It's almost like a way of life. Things are climbing back slower as far as subscribers. But again, like I said, my thing is to put out quality work, consistent, every day. And thanks for bearing with me in the construction of this house, because that takes up a lot of time with little things and small things and big things. And right now we're not haggling, but we're on to another phase where there's the price thing. They think you're from America and you're rich. Yo, I'm a blue collar dude, man, who knows how to stretch money and live below my means and be frugal. And they see what you're doing and say, oh, no. We know. We watch social media. All are driving Benzes and BMWs over there. Oh, yes, you are. And you have these big homes. And when we see you on TV, every light in the house is on. You know what I mean? Like, they just think that's abundance. Not realizing that most people have a mortgage and a car note. And you know, even if you are paying your bills, they just, I don't know. That's why I say, you want to go over there. I'm not knocking it. I love my people in America. I love the land, the places, but the system is what I can't stand. So anytime past, present, and future, you hear me talk, oh, no, America's this, America's that. What I really mean is the system. I'm not throwing off, because I would love to be right there, right next to you with all of you, or bring you all out over here with me. That's a dream of mine. Let me take a sip of this water, y'all. Okay. The narcissist operation. The narcissist discards the victim coldly, as if they never cared about them at all. They may smear the victim's reputation to others, playing the victim themselves to maintain their image. If the victim shows signs of recovery, the narcissist may attempt to hoover them back in, only to repeat the cycle. Let me talk about that. They don't want you to ever come back to who you've been before. They don't ever want to see you with confidence. They don't ever want to see you strive and thrive. They envy you because they're scared. They have no confidence, usually from something that was traumatic in their childhood. And they see your life force. They see your drive. They don't like it. They can't be you, nor should they want to be you. Be you. You don't have to be somebody else. But I mean, yes, someone else can inspire you, but no, you, no. You can't be as great as you are, admired by people. They have to bring you down. For you to be great, I'm not saying like a blown up great. I'm just saying, when somebody does something great, and be like, oh man, you're good at what you do. I like what you do, whatever. It kills them. They've got to be in your place. And see, it's not even about that. Like the person who they're envious of was, I'm going to be great one day. No, you know what it is? They hate your realness. They hate your empathy. They hate your genuine feel for people around you. Doesn't mean you're a victim. You can be rough with the ones who want to get rough with you, but in a loving, warm way, they lack that. They lack emotion. They can only mimic emotion and spit it back to future victim, but they can never, ever. And this is the problem when they say that they hoover you back in, because when they see that you're getting back up on your feet, when they see that you're beginning to glow again, that you have confidence again, if they knocked it down, right? They say, wait a second, I didn't do the job good enough. It's like in those gangster movies where a couple of gangsters meet up with some guy and they shoot him and they walk away. And the guy who was shot gets up to run away and they say, hey, we haven't done the job good enough. Pow, pow, pow. And you know that victim is dead. They just won't leave you alone. And from what I've seen through experience, remember in the beginning I said that I feel that for the most part, anybody can be a narcissist, but a lot of men are, and I do feel the majority, it could be 51%, it could be 99%, I don't know. We will never know, but I think the majority of them are men. And the young ladies that I've talked to have called me, sometimes I don't even know who they are, but they, oh, you did that show on narcissism, can I talk to you about it? It's like years go by and they still feel some type of, I'm not even going to say connection. I'm going to say it this way for a reason. They feel as though they have some type of ownership over you, because it's not a love thing. It's not a thing where it's like, I love you and I miss you type thing. It was wrong that we're not together. That wasn't a genuine relationship. You're an object to be extracted from. And when they get everything out of you, then they get rid of you. You might have a half a gallon of Tropicana orange juice in the fridge and you think it's empty. You're like, okay, we got to get rid of this. Somebody poured it out and put it back inside, and you grab it to go throw it in the garbage. You feel a little bit shaken. Wait a second. I'm throwing this out now. It's a little bit. Let me sip this out. Let me drink this out. You don't just say, well, it's empty a little bit. It has a little bit in there. Let me still throw it out. No, you're going to drink that little bit that's in there. And that's what they do to you. And if you appear to be doing good, whether it's immediately, which usually it takes a little time to recuperate, but I don't care if it's 10 years ago it's going by. You're married to somebody else. They're going to try to get next to you and use their old tricks to try to even break up the marriage or prove to themselves that, yeah, she's married now. But I can get, even if it's not to break the marriage up, but just to get you in the bedroom, looking at you victorious while you perform an act on them. Look at that. She out there acting like she married, but look what she's doing to me. Then they get rid of you again because they know that they manipulated you. I said it raw without saying it in a lewd way, but this is how they think. It's a power trip with them, right? The mind games and gaslighting. Throughout the relationship, the narcissist employs various mind games to keep the victim under control. These tactics are designed to confuse, destabilize, and weaken the victim, making them more malleable to the narcissist's will. The common tactics include gaslighting, making the victim doubt their reality by denying things they know happened or twisting the truth. In other words, trying to make you feel crazy. And sometimes you start to question yourself and say, did it really happen? Projection, accusing the victim of the very things the narcissist is guilty of, such as lying or cheating. Triangulation, involving a third party to create jealousy, competition, or insecurity in the victim. Now, I'll say about the triangulation, it's not like when they say involving a third party, like they went over to the third person and said, hey, you know, I'm a narcissist, right? And I'm trying to mess this person's life up. You know what I mean? I want you to play along with me like you like me. No. Usually, from what I've seen, that third party designed to create jealousy, competition, and insecurity may not even know that they're part of this thing. It might be a friend of yours, right? That met the narcissist shortly after you got with him. And they'll say that friend of yours may be married, have a boyfriend or something. And that narcissist will say, hey, it's really something how she treats her man. I wish you would treat me that way. Or even if they don't say it like that, they'll start giving the compliments and acting a certain way. And you're like, hey, I saw him look at her when she walked away, or he's up in her face a little too much. And you're going to feel some kind of way, of course. And they take their time and do this to try to see if you emulate or try to, I'm not going to say live up to, because you're already doing everything right. But to make you feel as though you're less so, well, let me try. So the more you try to jump through the narcissist's hoops, he still knows that he has you. And your reactions tell a whole lot. You see? Love bombing or devaluation, alternating between excessive affection and harsh criticism to keep the victim off balance. Yeah, now they got you. It's like this old fishing trick father taught me. When you feel that fish bite on the hook, you yank that fishing rod back so the hook draws deeper or is driven deeper into the mouth of the fish. And as you reel it in and you feel it, you lean in a little more and you yank it back again more. You see? And so this is what they do when they keep you between excessive affection and harsh criticism. See, because of the criticism and feeling bad about yourself, it makes it sweeter when you finally get it. The affection, like, oh, wow, things are back to where they're supposed to be. And then it's this cycle that never ends. And you can never be on balance or never feel, you know, it's like they have this timer. Like the minute you get used to the affection, like, okay, I know things are back to where they're supposed to be. And just a second when you just about forgot the harsh criticism and being devalued, there's a look in the eye, here it come. And you're like, oh man. And you start to think about, I need to leave this situation. But you're so invested that you go for the ride, the emotional roller coaster. And remember, they don't mind having you depend on them because that's even more control. They get off on that. It's almost like they're even angry at you for loving them. See, because you think you have true love in your heart for this person, and they don't even know what love is. They never knew what love was all their life. Remember, they're masquerading behind a love mask. They're acting. They don't know what love is. They don't know what caring is. It's all about them. Serve me. Take care of my needs. And if I ever do anything for you and show love to you, it's just to keep you hooked before I drop the bomb of making you feel bad about yourself again. That's what it is. Now we have blame shifting, making the victim feel responsible for everything wrong in the relationship. And you know the bad part about it is these narcissists have rewired your psyche because you let them in, because you opened up as they presented themselves as the perfect key. So I'm not going to blame the victim and say, oh, it's your fault. No, it's not. You're going to get enough of that from the narcissist. But they make you feel wrong. And now you start to really believe this. And you say to yourself, oh, it was so good in the beginning. And intermittently, it's still so good. Let me see what I can do to make this thing work. You can't. You can't make a car drive with no gas. You can't make a plane fly with no wings. What you gonna do? How can I be a boxer and I don't have any arms? But when you deal with a narcissist, there is no emotion. But they're very convincing, making you feel this. And where they get it from? Other people, they observe. They're like Toyota, Japanese cars. They copy. But Chinese products, they copy. They're good at copying and sometimes looking more authentic than the real thing. That's what they're good at. Why the narcissist targets certain individuals. High-level malignant narcissists are highly skilled at identifying potential victims. They look for individuals who possess specific traits that make them easy to manipulate and control. 10 reasons here now why you might be targeted. Let's get down in it. Empathy. You are naturally caring and empathetic, making you more likely to forgive and overlook the narcissist's negative behavior. Isn't that something? I was speaking to someone today about empath. And these narcissists want people who are just going to keep taking, because it's the nature of the empath to be loving and kind and forgiving and long-suffering, even when you're not. And I don't know if you all can remember back in the 60s, not that I watched it in the 60s, I was born in 63, but in the 70s when they used to play the reruns of the original Star Trek, and they had an episode called The Empath. I forgot how this young lady came around the crew of the Starship Enterprise, but she was, she didn't speak, very quiet. And I don't know how the plot went, but what I can remember is that Captain Kirk or one of the crew members had a scar or a cut. And the empath was a gentle soul. It wasn't anybody like, oh, it's an alien. Look human, right? But the empath put their hand on the wound and winced in pain herself. She, like it was hurting her, like the person who had the wound. And when she removed her hand, the wound was gone. She removed the wound. She took the pain away and she absorbed it for herself. So when a narcissist sees that you have a lot of empathy, whether you're an empath or not, I'm not saying magic powers like that, right? But if I knew one like that, I'd say, listen, put your hand over my wallet. So when I look at it again, we got some money in there, right? But that's the biggest, I'm not going to say turn off for them, but it's like, oh, you're an empath? I got you now. I'm going to use this one because we're going to have high mileage on this bad boy. You see what I mean? So let me see here. I see, I'm looking on one computer. Oh, you're right. America is rich with violence, inflation, and greed. You're right, Tracy J. I got to use that one. Oh, thank you, Nika G. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And you all are godsends to me because you all inspire me. You know what I mean? It's just soul to soul, heart to heart. This is what I love. This is what I grew up on. Good conversations and fellowship. I can't get enough of it. Just like I can't get enough of this water. My throat is starting to mess up because I was talking all day. But daggone it, we're going to finish this show. We're going to do it, and I ain't going to rush it. Hold on a second. I'm going to drink this water. What am I craving? Some kind of nutrient or something? I'm just into this lemon water like this so much. You know? Thank you, Nika G. And many will say I don't because I had to handle them. You know, when you have a heart that loves people and you let people do, you know, and then when you got a head, oh, he ain't no good. He did this to me. But then again, remember, that's narcissist behavior. They keep poking. And when you finally stand up to them, they tell everybody you're the bad guy, you know? So like I said before, one of my little quotes, when they tell you how did it go? Oh, I'm gonna turn it around. When they tell you how much of a monster I am, ask them to tell you what they did to make me that way. You know what I mean? Like, people will mess with you so much. And I'm realizing I got the wrong banner up. I didn't even change the banner. Hold on. I'm not trying to see myself like that now. Boom, there it is. That's the one I made, to represent the narcissist, so to say, right? But yeah, let me continue on to the next one. Low self-esteem. Individuals with low self-esteem are more susceptible to the narcissist love bombing and subsequent devaluation. That goes without saying. And these narcissists are like, they're running all over the planet, just raising hell. And yeah, in this day and age, especially with the airbrushing and the Photoshop and the social media and the filters, and everything looks perfect. And a lot of our sisters feel as though they don't measure. And it may be something deeper than that. And we have a lot of men who are like that too, but I'm just speaking from this side. And they love them. They can have their way with them. And don't be a low self-esteem empath. If they could ever be one. The more of these that you are, oh man, the narcissist is going to come after you. We're going to talk about how to repel the narcissist also, even before they come around you. All right? But that one goes without saying. Number 3, need for validation. If you seek external validation, the narcissist can easily manipulate you by providing and withdrawing approval. You ever get ready to pay somebody, like a friend, somebody, and you pull away and they say, I'm not, give me that money, man, or whatever. They can provide you with what you need and fill the voids on the inside of needing the validation. So this is why whatever you do, like, we all love to hear a good compliment. We all love to be acknowledged, but try not to need that. Like, you got to tell yourself that I'm worthy. You have to know within yourself. And so I find that those things close the gaps, because I look at it like this. You look at a bowling ball. Bowling balls are heavy. I don't care how strong you are, they're still heavy. How many people can hold on to a bowling ball with one hand if it had no holes? See, them little 3 holes you stick your finger in to hold it? That's what you need to have a grip on it. So the voids that people have, the need for validation, the low self-esteem, and the empathy, those 3 things represent holes and voids that they can use to get their fingers in on you and have a hold on you. But if you fill it up and you don't give your empathy away as easy, you build your esteem, which may take time, because maybe you were raised in a family that always put you down, or peers that always put you down, or something traumatic or embarrassing happened to you and it never left you, although you don't talk to people about it or try to seek a little therapy or self-healing about it. They use those things. And that's why it's nothing wrong with you giving yourself affirmations of positivity and knowing that you are worthy. And if you made a mistake on the job, or maybe made a mistake in a past relationship, you are not your past. You have to continue on. You're here to grow. You're not the toddler you were before, right? You can walk fine now. You were crawling before. Now you can run. You can run upstairs, up every other step, whatever. Maybe you had a boyfriend or for the men, a girlfriend that you fell for, but emotionally you weren't ready at 14 years old. Maybe you held hands a little bit. Maybe you kissed a little bit when nobody was around. That's the way it was back in the day for me. Now they're doing all kind of things, okay? But oh, wow, I'm in love. But you look back, you say, no, it wasn't. It was just that the kiss felt good and just to be next to somebody, and it hits you earlier on that way. But whatever it is, build yourself up. Build yourself up. I remember when I used to go to the gym and do the bodybuilding and stuff, and they'd have guys that's helping you. You're doing, say, a bench press, because everybody knows a bench press, and they spot you. And they hold their hands under the bar a little bit, but you're the one pushing the weight, right? You have some who allow the spotter to pull the weight up for them, that's not doing nothing for you in your development. When I'm in the gym, I got to push the weight. If I can't push it, I lighten it up. Because the only way for me to gain is not to get the help from somebody else pulling the weight for me. So even when you're developing yourself and healing yourself, you don't need a yes man around you or a yes woman around you. You need to face what it is and take your time. It may be uncomfortable, but I've never saw a woman who loved herself. And we're not, you don't have to feel guilty when people say, oh, you're into yourself, you love yourself. Because some people love to see you damaged. We're trying to get you to a point where you're not, I'm not going to say you're damaged. That's a heavy word, but I got to use it. We all have little dents and little scratches on us through life, whether we admit it or not. We don't have to admit that to the world. You know, I got little things I deal with. They're minor at this point, at this age. You know, it'd be sad if they were major at 61 years old, right? But I got those things under control, and that's why I can talk about those things. Because I'm really talking about myself. And when you get that confident to do so, not that I'm some narcissist victim, I had friendships with narcissists and stuff, in-laws and friendships and whatever, and I learned from that. I'm a different creature because it didn't destroy me, but it made you pull over on the side of the road like when it's raining real bad and say, oh, let me have the blinkers on, the flashes on, and let's pull over under this overpass for a while. But there's nothing wrong with building yourself up, because God knows we have enough entities out here that are looking to tear us down. Past trauma. Those with unresolved trauma are more likely to fall into the cycle of abuse with a narcissist. We basically just hinted on that. Things in your past that were traumatic. That's another hole in the bowling ball to be able to stick their finger in and get a grip on you. Right? So we want to fill them things up before the narcissist comes around, because chances are, if they can't find a way to get a hold on you, they're going to pass. People-pleasing tendencies. If you have a strong desire to please others, you may bend over backward to satisfy the narcissist. Now, that was what I was guilty of, people-pleasing tendencies. You see? Always trying to please, please, please. I don't do it like that no more. I still look to please, but in a tighter inner circle. There's nothing wrong with that. How are you going to have energy to give other people when you're depleted yourself? So I enjoy my time to myself and at home, and certain times of the day when I just, like today, I took a nap. Middle of the day, I said, I'm laying down for an hour. Now, I see the benefits of it. I'll do a little 20-minute nap. You're not supposed to really go any longer than 20 minutes, because now you kick off into something else. And if you're fully rested, you know, I guess I'm getting older. I'm going to start taking the naps. I don't want it to be where my whole day is like the full night's sleep and like 6 hours of nap. So you just have like a short day. I don't want it to be that way. But I used to feel guilty for sitting down. I just had to keep going. And usually what I had to keep going is to please people. I'm still a people pleaser, but don't let my admission of that make people out there say, oh, I could just use them for this. You know, it ain't. Because when my tank runs low, I got to fill it back up. If people get mad at me for that, so be it. And I suggest that everybody here do the same thing. Keep your tank full. It makes sense anyway, because you may have an emergency on an emotional level, not you, but somebody who really needs you. And if you're too exhausted from too many hands in the pot, you'll have nothing to give. There's nothing wrong with giving. You give it to the people who in your life who deserve it. You see, the ones who deserve it. And there are ways to find that out. I made a 1-minute video on that I'm going to put up after the show, and it gets right to the point. Isolation. Individuals who are isolated from supportive friends and family are easier for the narcissist to control. You have a lot of people who morphed in this life. Sweet D, Earth Angel, Jay Amani. Oh man, the chat room is popping. I'm sitting here just talking because it's over to the side. And it's like way on the side. Welcome on in. Oh man, we cooking tonight. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Is there anybody else that I missed? No, right? Yeah. We can always morph into isolation and semi-isolation. And what do I mean by that? My father, my mother, as they got older, my father would always say, because he was married to someone before my mother, long before, in Connecticut, right? And they had a child that miscarried. But he has roots in Connecticut. He has buddies in Connecticut. They would talk on the phone like when I was really younger. And as I got older, the calls were coming through less and less, right? And he always said, man, I got to get to Connecticut. And I think his ex-wife had passed away, but it wasn't for that. But he had some buddies that were there. And they were talking less and less until everybody got older. Some passed away. And it was just like, He had the memories. He's telling me about it and everything, but he tried to make a phone call here or two and the person was in the hospital, whatever. And then without family, he would have been isolated. So we have a lot of young ladies out here who get to be not just a certain age. It could be a situation. You could be in your 20s and move to a different state where you're keeping in contact on Facebook, on WhatsApp. Like my buddies growing up, like I said, but a friend of mine, I know 1969, that's a long time. The other ones are in the mid 70s, early 70s. So we made a WhatsApp group. We just talk all day long, not like 24/7, but it's almost like we'll say something, maybe 2 hours, they respond or whatever. So we have that sense of being together. We're not isolated. When that narcissist sees that you are in a situation where you move to that different state and you're not really acclimated yet, you haven't made friends, you might have a child, which takes up most of your time, and you're not into really. You might have broke up with somebody in the other state. Maybe you move for a career opportunity, and it kind of made it sweet because you can get away from this person who's trying to get around you. So you're isolated. But that doesn't mean you don't need companionship. You may be in a place in your life where you say, you know what? I'm not looking for somebody to get into bed with me. We all have those feelings, but that I'm not going that way. I don't want to bring anybody to my apartment or my home. I want it like this. I want to be gradual. I'm older now. I understand. But they see you basically isolated, not knowing you're new to town, which makes you a big target. You see what I mean? So your friends and your family are not there. The human touch is the sweetest thing. I'm not saying you have to hug up on some stranger or touch them, but to be around another human energy. And these narcissists will start out real light. They'll kind of assess the situation and say, well, listen, let's meet over by Starbucks. Let's just chat a little bit. I know you're tired when you get off of work, whatever. Let's just, buy you a few coffees, whatever. And they'll leave it at that. And after a while, it starts to feel good. Like, wow, not that you're looking to jump into bed with the person. And again, remember, everything I'm saying, we can switch it over and say the man is the potential victim and that woman is a narcissist. But like I said before, I feel most narcissists who are aggressive like this are men. I do feel that the female narcissists are a little more passive. And that's just from my experience. It may be a different proportion for you because it all depends how we grew up, where we grew up, our demeanor. You know what I mean? Oh, April, welcome on in. I need to glance at this daggone chat rooms. I'm not ignoring anybody if I happen to miss. And again, if there's a power blinkage or whatever, just give me a little, maybe 2 minutes to get back on. Sometimes it happens up here, but we're going to take care of that real soon, right? So it may be in a town where you grew up, but you just isolated from many people. But the isolation also is another hole in the bowling ball and a big narcissistic turn on because, I can have more influence over you. You don't have that girlfriend who could read me. Girl, I think he's a narcissist and the way you better back up off of him. Looks like he's trouble. You may not have that, you know? Optimism. A naturally optimistic person might overlook red flags, believing that things will get better. Yeah, we can get choked because of our optimism, always seeing everything, half full more than half empty. But I'm optimistic about most things because that's how I am. But it can become something where we get delusional sometimes, especially when we overlook what's right in front of us. You ever walk down the street and you're looking way down the street, but you don't notice that little small branch that's in front of you? Or maybe that little ditch. I'm going to tell you an embarrassing story. Out here about maybe 2 months ago, I got a big mark that's healing up on my calf. I had the phone in my hand. I should know better. And it was dark, but it was in the market up in the village. And we have open gutters here. Would you believe I fell in the gutter? Like, it would have been down to my waist. I caught myself. I could have hit my chin on that concrete and knocked myself out. I could have broke my back. I could have did something. And I caught myself, but I was already in there. And I had scraped up my leg. Because I had the phone in my hand, but when I looked up, I'm looking down the block and not looking what's right in front of me. You see what I mean? And so our optimism will cause us to look so far ahead that, that little ditch is not a threat. But oftentimes we don't see the ditch, which is a red flag. And we wash it over with, it's the forever optimist. I'm not saying you're not supposed to be positive, because if I wasn't positive, I wouldn't have made it so far. And with the help and the energy to create and the people who love me, who are around me, we need that. But let's stop covering over the things that we see, but we keep it in our peripheral vision. So we don't have to look at it in front, but it's going to present itself to you one day and you're going to be sorry. Test everything. Test the spirit, like they say right in the Bible. That's true. Test it and keep testing it. Your trust has to be earned. Don't trust me because, that's Lancescurv. No, don't trust me. Let me earn it. It feels better to me when I earn your trust. I'm not going to say, give me your trust. You don't need to give me nothing. Let me earn it. So when you say, I trust him, from what I've seen so far, that means the door is still open. I can still be a crook. You know what I mean? So I like it like that, because that means I have to continually show you, continually keep the account to your heart open. You see? Now here's another one. Over responsibility. Taking on too much responsibility can make you more likely to accept blame for the narcissist's behavior. Taking on too much responsibility for the relationship. And you have said to yourself, this is a good man. If you're a man, it's a good woman. I'm just saying it like it's the woman's a victim, right? So don't come tell me I'm simping. I'm not going to say it twice just because, if that's the case with all these different types of sexual categories. Because I remember on Facebook, they said, we have 71 different types of. I'm like, what did I miss? I thought it was just man and woman. You know what I mean? Somebody will say the story 71 different times. It goes for both. I don't know what kind of aliens they got running around here, but the last time I checked, you got 2 types of genitalia, unless you're hermaphrodite. That's both. One more dominant than the other, right? But yeah, taking on too much responsibility or being the one that is self-designated to be the healer in the relationship. Well, every time something goes wrong, I'll take the blame for it. No. If it's you, sure. If it's them, it's them. Because they'll get spoiled with that bad boy. They'll get spoiled. And things that they obviously do, you'll stand up and defend them and take the blame. They'll punch you in the face. Oh, I'm sorry for making my face go in front of your fist. You know what I mean? They at work and you home and you burn something in the stove. Oh, I'm so sorry. It was me who was on the phone too long with you. It's my fault. Well, I mean, yeah, it is your fault, right? But he knows that you should have been looking after that thing. Say, listen, call me back later when you're done cooking. We'll take the blame. Number 9, strong moral code. Narcissists may target those with strong morals, knowing that they'll try to make the relationship work. Oh, yeah, she's that religious, spiritual woman. I mean, I can call out the religions. Oh, she's a Muslim. She's a Christian. You know, she's into Judaism, whatever. A Buddhist, whatever. But you have this standard now that you profess they can use against you. They'll emotionally taekwondo your behind. You know what I mean? Use your energy against you because they're going to throw it back in your face. Well, you are a Christian and you're supposed to so-and-so. You're supposed to forgive me, even though you came home early and caught me in the bed with your best friend. You're a Christian. It'd be wrong for you not to forgive. Like you're not supposed to be accountable for your actions, bro. Come on now. That's crazy. The next one is financial or emotional dependence. If you're dependent on a narcissist in some way, it makes it harder to leave. Just like that situation I was telling you about before. The flying monkey, the woman who just all in, going against all the enemies of the narcissist and don't realize that that narcissist has complete control. Oh, they're enjoying all the amenities, but the narcissist got complete control. Even if the narcissist said, get out, you ain't got no choice because you have nothing. Have nothing. So don't let these narcissists drain down your bank account with fake emergencies. Don't even let your narcissist know, especially even if you're all together, married. And it's a narcissist that's sucking the life force out of you, and you know you can't keep up or keep going on with this person. You need to get that bank account together, that exit plan. Don't be so transparent. Don't be. It's your life. See, you should be growing every single day. And how are you going to inflate a tire when there's somebody on the other side of the tire poking holes in it? It can't work. It's impossible. You want to be full. Like me now, I feel so good because I'm filling up at a faster rate. Partially because I'm out of America, and partially because I'm away from certain people that were just sucking the life out of me. And they won't get that anymore. They can run around town and, oh, he did it. Oh, I don't care. I'm feeling better, stronger, faster. We can rebuild him. We have the technology. Do-do, doop, doop, do-do. $6 million man. Okay. We got some more to go. Healing from a relationship with a high-level malignant narcissist. Recovering from a relationship with a high-level malignant narcissist is a long and challenging process, but it is possible. The key is to recognize that the abuse was not your fault and to take active steps toward healing. Here's some detailed methods. Educate yourself. Learn about narcissism and the tactics they use to understand that you were manipulated and not at fault. See, this is why I want to do this show in such detail. Because sometimes you can be in public. Let's just make something up. You could be at the supermarket checkout line. You could be at the mall next to somebody who's looking at certain clothes and see the exchange between these two people and realize that that person is a narcissist and that the victim is somebody so subservient to the narcissist and in control that they're almost running around like they're scared. Like there's unwritten rules with their relationships, and it's strange. But you can pick up on that when you're perceptive that way. Just like you go to a family gathering, and there's your favorite cousin, a female, and she brings her fiance, or, the one that she's going to marry, or maybe they just got married. And you can tell by the body language that they're feigning happiness, that they're not really happy, and that she's almost in fear of him, even though she knows he's not going to be maybe abusive and hit her, but for the emotional damage that he's giving to her. And that when people compliment her on how beautiful she looks and how in shape she is, and maybe she lost 40 or 50 pounds. Look at the narcissist, that man, every time she gets a compliment. See, these are things that I observe. I see things on a multi-level basis. As an artist, I always look below the surface. And it's almost like he looks to him, not for approval, but almost to say, oh, I'm sorry for getting a compliment. She doesn't say it, but it's a quick glance that most of us might miss. And he'll smile, but it's a fake cardboard cutout kind of smile. When you go into the supermarket and you see like a celebrity, not real celebrity, it's this big cardboard cutout, 6 feet tall. And then when you get to the side of it, you realize it's a thin piece of cardboard. That's the smile that the narcissist will give in that case when that victim is receiving a compliment or real love. When they see at this cookout, all of your friends, all of your family and cousins come over to hug you, to fill you up and reinforce maybe a little bit of low self-esteem, or being one who is an empath that's drained, narcissist is not going to like it. And the more you get filled up externally away from him, is the more you're going to have to pay for it when you get home. That's a guaranteed way to trigger off his bad behavior towards you, to value you, to put you down, to criticize you. That's almost a guaranteed argument. You got to understand that. And I speak from experience. I wrote down my bulleted points, but I'm speaking from experience of what I've observed. See? Earth Angel says, Lance, that's such a true statement. I've overlooked people's behaviors being such an optimistic person, which I'm still that part. Yes, never abandon your optimism, but never let it blind you. I'm very optimistic. And you know what? I try to see the best in people. But at the same time, when I see it, I see it. It's those quick expressions, those quick glances, those little things that are reactionary. See, anybody can act a certain way, but their reactions may not be major. But if you're cleansed and aware and clean within yourself, I'm not saying you got to go scrub your skin, but you're meditated up and you can feel things. They might trick you once or twice, but they're not going to trick you all the time. So, depictions coming soon. That's right. The Masquerade, Riri. Yes. Let me see here, Riri. I love your life experience. Thank you so much. I don't claim to know. There's a lot of people who know stuff or been through stuff, but they don't talk it. I just tell mine. Sometimes even when I'm the one who fell, hey, listen, I learned that lesson young. You all know I ride a one-wheel bike, a unicycle, and can still do it to this day. Matter of fact, I had to dust it off, and I was in the house doing it, right? I'm going to do some videos again with that. But when you dare to do something like that from a young age, you fall a lot. And you fall a lot in front of people. And you scrape up your knee. And it's not a good feeling. It's embarrassing. But I wanted it so bad that I kept on going. So in me trying to get to certain levels of awareness, I'll say, sometimes you're going to fall. And you're going to learn from that. And so this is all hands on. I put down the bulleted points, but I can just freestyle it for the rest of the night. But I'm not. I want to get certain things in. Because like I said, just like I realized that there were so many situations that I've been in and through. I'm not going to say that somebody else hasn't, but even my close friends like, Lance, you lived in a very intense life. You've been through a lot of sugar, honey, iced tea. I'm like, yeah. I thought everybody did to that level. That's why I can run my mouth like this. You know what I mean? Straight from the hip. Seek professional help, therapy, especially with a professional who understands narcissistic abuse can be crucial in the healing process, of course. But come on, Black folks, why do we seek professional help? I ain't crazy. Ain't nothing wrong with me. No. Is your car crazy because it needs a tune-up? Because you've been running it around and dropping in potholes and, put the wrong oil in and the gas is knocking, or the engine's knocking. No, you need a tune-up. That's why many of us are a mess. By the time we're 35, 40, we're done. Forget about 50 and 60. A lot of us are just, and I've noticed that. I'm going off topic again. I got some people I know. They didn't hit 60. Like me and that little, you leaving 50s, hitting the 60s, or some people that are already there that were a few years older than me. And all they do is like, they're a broken record. They're looking back. Now we know at 60, pretty much you got more behind you than you do in front of you, right? But I'm not going to live that way. I'm not, my daddy died at this age and my mama died at this age. So come on. But you got the present. You have the present. And there's new stuff to do. I know people who don't even leave their house. They don't leave their house. They got good retirement money, bills paid up, travel to different parts of the world, and their significant other will go out and travel all over the new town, and they'll stay in that hotel room looking at old reruns of old shows. Yes. No, that frightens me. I'm so glad that even with the misjudgments and the things that hurt me, or I've hurt a few people in my life too, right? Being young and dumb, you break a few hearts, you break a few promises, right? But I'm glad that I never had fear control my life. No, I'm going to go for it. I mean, even when I did bodybuilding, I wasn't in shape when I started training. My first competition was January of 1980. I didn't get no trophy, but I went up there and had a good time. People liked what I did up there. And it took years for me to get to a certain point. But when you know it within yourself that you're equipped to make the journey, no matter what anybody says, a narcissist or somebody hating on you, never live in fear. What's the worst? You can be embarrassed. So what? Go back at that thing and keep attacking it until you get good. Keep embellishing the drawing, the artwork. When I'm doing something, it don't look like nothing. After a while, people keep coming back. Hey, man, you pretty good, man. Whoa. You see what I mean? Keep embellishing, keep adding on, keep reading, keep learning. Your life force should not be taken up by some next fool who's a narcissist, who don't even like themselves, who don't even love themselves because they can't love you, they can't love themselves. They're an actor. They should give them awards for being great actors because they can't show it for real. But they want to pull it out of you. It's like candy to them, and to see you empty just like them. That's terrible. I don't want to be around nobody like that. I don't condone nobody like that. I can't do that. Let me get on to the next one. I'm getting all heated over here. Reconnect with loved ones. Rebuild your support system by reconnecting with friends and family who are pushed away during the relationship. Pushed away, minimized, banished. Sometimes the narcissist will create conflict with your family and friends and loved ones and create it in a way where it almost looks legit, but it's not. Even to the point of you agreeing why you shouldn't talk to your mother. You agreeing why you shouldn't talk to your brother or sister or anyone, friend or whatever. And if it seems as though there's another person coming into your life. I'm not talking a love interest, but I'm talking about someone who could potentially help to build you up. Just with their presence alone, that narcissist is going to have an immediate problem with them. They can sense it. Oh, it looks like they're going to have a good friendship. I need to help get rid of her. She ain't going to, ain't going to take away my supply. So they're going to start smearing the character of the person to keep them away from you. You must have your independent relationships that were there before that man came into your life or that woman came into your life. And if they really love you, they're going to want you to maintain it. They're not going to start a smear campaign on everybody. And sometimes we don't even know it. And we done got caught up in what they tried to inoculate our minds with. And we run with it because of how sweet they're treating us. Well, I think your mama jealous of the relationship you have with me because, she never really had it with your father or any man. She was always abused. And I think she's no, it may not be that way. I've experienced every different type of positioning. And I have to thank my mother and father for that, for teaching me things, even when I was overhearing their conversations that they let me overhear. This is nothing different than what I heard from when I was younger. You write things out and put it in bulletin points to read off, but discerning and all that, I grew up in that bad boy. But I never knew I had it. I thought everybody had it that way. And lots of times it can erode if you get around the negative people or a narcissist who sucks it out of you. You ever have a calculator, old-fashioned calculator that has batteries in it? And the batteries get so low, it begins to malfunction. It starts showing you all kind of numbers and symbols. You hit the number 3, it shows you a letter E. Like, what the hell's going on? And then it takes time for the screen to show that number. Then it blinks out. That's where the narcissist likes to keep you. And he will jumpstart you to get a little bit of your esteem back, a little bit, enough to suck out again. Ain't that something? That's what I just don't understand. Let me share what Earth Angel said. I just looked over to the side. Earth Angel 1105 Remix said, I got therapy because what you said, I couldn't imagine the things someone would do without missing a beat, stepping over others without feeling, but I'm good. And I swept them out. Bless you for that. That's right. And now that's a strong point, and it will never happen again. But sometimes we need that tune-up. And we got to stop the stigma of thinking that, I ain't crazy. No, you ain't crazy. We just need that tune-up. There's nothing wrong with the tune-up. It'll keep you running on the road of life for a longer time. Practice self-care. Focus on your physical and mental health through activities that make you feel good, such as exercise, meditation, or hobbies. The narcissist will quickly identify the things that you want to do and keep you away from it also. Why do you want to go to the gym today? It's raining outside. And why do you want to, meditate? This is a waste of time. Why, come on, spend more time with me. What do you need a hobby for? But now, if you're trying to remain healthy, they will encourage you to eat bad food. They will encourage you on the next morning. You got to get up and go to work early. They will encourage you to stay up late with them if they don't have to go to work. See, the things that benefit you, they're going to try to keep away from you. The things that tear you down, they'll feed you up. I've known narcissistic men to meet a woman who had herself centered, well kept according to her standards. It doesn't mean you have to have a six-pack, abdominals, and you ba-boom here, ba-boom there, and you're not living for nobody else, but well kept within her standards. And he made sure to come into her life and pull her away from that. Help her to put on more weight, help her to be more tired, help her to drain down her bank account, help her to run all the friends that support her away. and keep you running on empty, just fumes. And every time a little bit of fumes you have start to grow, they suck it away. You see what I mean? And this is the thing. It doesn't just have to be you either. Because see, since they have no feeling for you and no real love for you, they're already working on the next one. So that when they get rid of you, it's like a smooth mix at the nightclub. You know, when you have the two turntables and you dancing, you know, you got Linda Clifford playing. I ain't giving nothing up to nobody, no how. Beware, sister, sister, you better beware. And all of a sudden you hear the other one coming on in. It's not over between you and me. Ah! And everybody starts getting renewed. The ones who are sitting down, they jumping on the dance floor now, and now you more fired up. They got the next supply ready. They've been working on them. They might not have even had sex with them yet if it's a relationship, but they well know about you and the manufactured bad things about you. So that when that narcissist leaves you, it's a smooth mix. Smooth Operator by Sade. That's what it is. And it blows your mind. They dump you today and they run into the arms of another woman the next day. And it's too smooth. You're like, wait a second, you were playing me this whole time. Maybe not always like that, but they got their eye on something because they know that you're about to be completely drained. They want you to be anyway. Right? Set boundaries. Learn to set and enforce strong boundaries to protect yourself from future manipulations. You gotta set those boundaries. Even when you meet someone new and you don't know what their makeup is, they have to see that there are places and lines that they cannot cross. When you so easily break down your boundaries to accommodate a new friend who may be narcissistic, a new love interest who you may like so far, you still have to honor the boundaries. They have to be made to honor the boundaries, and you have to honor your own boundaries and make no exceptions. Because when you make exceptions for that narcissist, that's a hole in the bowling ball where he can stick his finger and he needs some more, but he knows he's on his way because you changed the rules of what you live by just for him. And again, this could be a woman who's a narcissist coming to a man. So let's look out for the simp comments that I get all the time. Man, you simple for them women, man. What you think you can get out there, women? These are my sisters here. I'm not thinking like that. Come on. Come on. I'm in Africa. Even if that could happen, come on. What do I do? Look, I don't want to get too adult. Am I that hung that I can reach over the Atlantic? That means I make the world look like a lollipop. This long thing hanging. Come on, get out of here. Shut up. Too old for that. Grieve the loss. Allow yourself to mourn the relationship, even if it was toxic, as part of the healing process. I agree. You can't say, well, he didn't mean nothing to me, no way. Well, you found out that you didn't mean nothing to him, but you did get into that exoskeleton, that exterior, that useless husk that you learned from him that he was. You were still rolling with that. And it is a loss, but if you count it like it's not a loss, you'll never get over it. You didn't reach him all the way. You didn't have a real loving person, but it was a one-way thing. But you still have to mourn those feelings that you had attached to the facade. You were attached to the facade, but you were attached nonetheless. You got to mourn that too. You got to mourn that because that's the part that kept you coming back, because you thought that it might be real. And now that you know that it wasn't, you still got to grieve it. Still have to admit it and move on. Avoid contact. This is one of the harder ones. Implement a strict no contact rule. Implement a strict no contact rule. Let me get Umar Johnson to say it 3 times. Implement a strict no contact rule. No, I can't do no content. You know, I got to do content every day. With the narcissist to prevent them from hoovering you back in. Once it's done, it's done. If you see them in the supermarket and they try to talk to you, you keep on walking. Keep on walking. If you have to change your number, whatever. But then, you know what, too? In doing my research for this, and I probably will take that back about changing number. Don't change anything. Because when they see that you change something, they'll take that as them still having power over you. Just don't answer. Just don't answer. And they will try to call you from different numbers. If they catch you, hang it up. But just don't answer from, pick the phone up when you see a different number. Because they'll even like that. Yeah, see, they want me. That's why they ran away from me like that and blocked me, because they're in an inner struggle, because they know that my loving is so good. They know that my treatment is so good. And in their mind, they treated you good the whole time. And that's what they're going to tell everybody too. That they treated you so good. And they're going to have other people. Man, she's a fool. See, on his side, he's a fool. She ran away from a good man. Now, see, he's doing all this because he's setting up 5 or 6 other supplies, meaning that next woman that he can use, or several women that he can use. You'd be surprised. I remember working, and I'm going to say where it was, Orange County Department of Corrections on 33rd Street, right off of John Young in Orlando, Florida. I couldn't believe it. There were 5 women, 5 co-workers, correction officers, who hung out, who worked on the same post or near each other. They all knew each other, all had they had each other's phone numbers. I couldn't believe it. When I did the shadow work in the jail before I got hired and went to the academy, I was hired. The way they do it down there, when they see that you are capable and they check your background and everything like that, they'll have you go in uniform. You're technically a correction officer, but you can't do certain things by yourself like a correction officer, right? You have to have someone who's with you, over you at all times. Now, if you're in the control room, they can leave you there, but you're not going to go into the cells and do certain things. You can help and do just like a corrections officer when you have that senior officer with you. But I was so gangster with it, they would let me do things on my own because I could handle it, because I was, I had wisdom and I knew what was what. Right? Me and the other guy that we came in together, Officer Ford. Wonder where he is. I got to try to find him. But, even, and I went off point. What the hell I was talking about now? I went off point. Oh, about avoiding the contact. They will use other people after hearing their sob story about how bad you treated them. And then, make sure, let's make like the narcissist's name was Lance. Well, it really was bad the way you did him. He's really grieving over you. And they will act like they grieving. I don't know what they did. I gave him my best and I don't know. I'm so hurt. And everything's short of saying, go over there and talk to her for me. They'll manipulate them to go and do that for them. You know what I mean? And you don't have to say nothing to them. If you want to say something, say, listen, you're wasting your time. You don't know who he is. I'm done. And please respect my boundaries and do not have anything to say to me about that. You know what I mean? And if they want to say you're the bad person, this is another thing I've learned in this life. Whoever want to say you're bad or this or that, when you're a people pleaser or want to make everything right, no. Yeah, you know what? Agree with them. Well, I heard you. Yeah, you heard right. You heard right. Well, I heard you ain't no good. You right? You just finding it out now? I'm no good. You better get away from me because I'm no good. You liable not to know what I can do right about now. Agree with them. You don't have to get in any struggle with these people. kind of, no, it didn't go that way, whatever. You playing right into the narcissist's hands because now you're engaging with one of his flying monkeys. That's the term that they officially use when you're on the narcissist side and you don't know jack about what the narcissist did, and you don't even know that they're really a narcissist. You see what I mean? Let me see this big message here. If what you do is called simping, then it is now deemed a good thing according to Giantpedia, truth be told. Our brothers are way too comfortable talking bad about and disrespecting our sisters, in my opinion. You're right. You're right. I'm rooted in old school. People would call me old school because of my chronological age, but that's my root. I remember romance in the songs and emotions and feelings and loving the woman. Now, if it's a woman that technically is no good, then you ain't got no business being with her. But it was a whole different world that I come from. I'm supposed to change now because we're in a different, reduced, devalued world. It was engineered that way. Can you get mad at the 85-year-old man that shows up to your birthday party wearing some clothes from 65 years ago? You know what I mean? He might have shrunk and his waistline is right where his nipple line is, and he got suspenders on and his high waters, but it was the style back in the day, not the style, but his body changed. You know what I mean? He's still showing you love and respect. Don't laugh at him. What you wearing them funny clothes for? It's a different time. But it's a different time now. I'm supposed to abandon my root on romance. And, I did wild things in the transition into the new time, but it was never a disrespect thing. It was never a disrespect thing. I just love women so much, I could never say no at that time. And it was romantic. To me, it wasn't like, yeah, I'm getting it now. Did you knock that out, man? Did you dig them guts out? No. I was loving them in my mind. It wasn't a commitment, but it was like, I need to appreciate you. Let me make you feel good. Let me hold you. Come on now. Even in that, there was none of this present day foolishness. If you want to do investigative work and go find out, they'll tell you. I don't know nothing about this world the way it is. And then want to turn around and say you simping when you don't disrespect the sister. And I don't have to publicly disrespect a woman. If I feel she needs some kind of correction, not that I'm the police that way, but if she's receptive to me, I'm going to say, listen, let's talk a little bit. If it's somebody in my orbit who, it's put on me to say something. I don't run out here in the street and all the women who are doing crazy stuff and showing themselves the wrong way. And you need to stop. Then there's something wrong with me. I can't change the world that way, but I can deal with everybody in my path. But this is a different world. And it really hurts me to see, oh, Scurv, man, I heard you was tearing. No, I wasn't tearing nothing up. This is not a sport. This is the aggressive references. What happened to giving a woman a massage? What happened to sipping a little wine and just chilling for a couple of hours and listening to some music? What happened to foreplay? Girl, let me know your skills. I'm pulling my zipper down, so you better show me. Get out of here. Way in the wee hours. Let's enjoy the ride. Like a piece of meat. A woman ain't no piece of meat. She got feelings, emotions, thoughts, fears, aspirations, goals. Sometimes issues she got to deal with. You can love her in a way and extract these things and help her out that way. Make it where she feels good all the way, not just a damn orgasm. That's just another topic. Let me, I lost my place on my list here. It's true. Journal your experience. Writing down your thoughts and feelings can help you process what happened and track your healing process. Exactly. Even as you go through it. It's like being harassed on a job by a supervisor or somebody in administration. Well, Well, on January 29th, this is what they said to me when they walked past my desk. On February 2nd, this is what they followed up. I saw them in the restroom and they had something funny to say under their breath, blah, 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 blah. And 3 years of that, you got to document it. They can't refute that behavior because there's somebody else on the job that was receiving it too. So when you journal it, to process what happened, then you know that you're not crazy, and to write down there how you felt. This is teaching yourself things through the experience that you have. Because sometimes our minds want to block out stuff. It's like, I'm done with him. I don't have to bother with it. No, because that same stuff you wrote down, you keep it. It may be another one creeping up on you. Right? And because you can document the different times, it may not be where you documented in the beginning because you didn't know. Well, I can tell this is a narcissist. I'm going to stay with him for a year so I can document everything. No, you didn't know. And when you do know, again, start writing it down, but it shouldn't be that much of a list because if you know this new person is, you need to get rid of them ASAP. As soon as they even stink like it, you smell like a narcissist. I'm getting rid of you because of my prior experiences. Okay, here we go. These bitter women do this to men as well, especially the ones that couldn't get a man to stay with them. The bitter, nosy ones that sit on the front porch all day, or the ones in church, super bitter. You are so right. You're so right, Tracy. There are a lot of bitter women out here, and I will get it from them too if I say it. So you got to be on when I talk about the bitter women. Because they're going to say, I'm hating women. I got to, look, there are a lot of guys that get online and vent their feelings because they may have chosen the wrong one repeatedly, and now they're bitter, and they just come with all of this stuff. But if I speak about the bitter woman, it's not from any bitter feeling. I've been burned in my life. Now, I don't mean burned with any STD. I hate to create that. I never had an STD. But burned where they used them for money, burned where they cheated on them, burned where they used them as a come up or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's not from that spirit. But when I do it, I'm going to go in. So do know I'm not talking about y'all here in the chat room. I'm not. I don't hold that kind of feeling that way. But it must be spoken on, and we will do it, and I will. It may not be tomorrow. It might be tomorrow. Let me see how my thought processes go. I'll see how I feel when I wake up, because when I wake up, that's when I start saying, okay, dear Lord, show me the way to go with the show tonight. And it comes to me. But I can talk a lot about that. There's a lot of bitter women out there. You know what I mean? Health is wealth. That's right, Riri. That's right. Focus on self-love. Rebuild your self-esteem by practicing self-love and reminding yourself of your worth. The narcissist will have you with a reduced self-assessment. See, this man knows this car is $50,000, but you won't let it go for $3,000. See? Don't sell yourself short. Know your worth. Because if you had no worth, let's flip it around. That narcissist wouldn't see you as attractive because you had something that he wanted to take from you. See? Nobody robs the bum who's on the corner urinating on himself because he's an alcoholic with his pockets hanging out with nothing in it but lint. Nobody sticks him up. He didn't come from the ATM with a pocket full of money. So when the narcissist comes for you, you have something of value that he wants to relieve you of. See? But they want to make it seem to you that you don't have anything of value, and they steady getting it. I'm going to tell this part. There's a young lady in Jamaica. She moved up with her family. But when she was living in Jamaica, she is developmentally delayed, AKA, not to put anybody down, but retarded, until the politically correct word came to say developmentally delayed. Now, she was about 40% there, 50% there. I wouldn't know how to explain. You know, you can talk to her, she'll answer you back coherently, but she'll stare off into space and take time to answer back. but she knew pretty much. You couldn't say things too heavy to her that she couldn't process. I forgot the age that they kind of said she was stuck at, like maybe 7 years old or something like that, 7 or 8 years old. Not even 8, maybe 7, depending on what. But she had a body out of this world. That's not me saying it. I saw it, but I heard what was going on when she was living in Jamaica. She would never go to church with the rest of the family. She would never go. And eventually, she had 4 children, but she was down there and young and in shape and eating good food because she was growing up in the country. And it's weird sometimes, how men can be. Well, this thing went on for a couple of years, what I'm about to tell you. There were people in the church that had doubled back. They didn't go to church that day. They made an excuse why they didn't go. And some of the men were in the house of that daughter because she's a daughter. The parents were in church. The sisters and brothers from the household were in church, and she stayed back home. And they let her stay home because they knew that, and she could be to herself. And this is not like when she was 7 or 8 years old. This is when she's 14, 15, 16. And she was not off where, oh God, we can't leave her alone. But then again, if this was America, I'd say, oh, you can't leave her alone. But that's what they did. They didn't have any type of hierarchy in Jamaica that would enforce that. Well, guess what? Not only was it one church brother sitting up in the living room, why was he sitting up in the living room and the girl's in the house there by herself? Because he was waiting his turn. There were at least 3 or 4, if not 8 total men from the church, most of who were married, were there to have sex with that developmentally delayed, AKA retarded girl who had the booming body. That's why at first I said she had a booming body. Maybe you said, well, would you look at her like that? No, I had to say it that way because of how some men think. You see that, but come on. And then for all of them to be in agreement, what you doing here, man? Well, and the folks, the parents in the church, not realizing how every week is a bunch of people not there. And they were all sitting up in their own kind of church service, waiting to lay hands on somebody. And unbelievable. Unbelievable. But the word got out. So many cars were parked around the corner here, and then nobody wanted to park in front of the house. And the father came home one day and raised hell. And he took a 2x4 and beat down as many of those men as he could. They won't run to the cops. Cops like, what you gonna do? Huh? We ain't doing nothing. What you gonna do to him? You ain't gonna do nothing to us. You better hope we don't beat you down for what happened. I couldn't believe that. And she, when she got to be around 18, 17, whatever, of course, you have feelings, but her mind wasn't at that level, and they took advantage of her. Some men will let you do, not let you, let me say it again. Some men will do things if they can get away with it. It's only the law and the consequences of getting caught that stop them from doing it. But most men, if there was a day that they can do whatever they want, I'm not saying to physically hold you down and violate you, but if they can say what they want, do what they want, God, Lord, you know what type of day that would be? Because we don't know the thoughts that these people have in their head. We don't know. Number 10, surround yourself with positivity. Engage in activities and relationships that bring positivity into your life to counterbalance the negativity of the past. Get around positive situations. Get around people who are working towards something. People who are driven towards something. You keep your hand on the stove, it's going to burn. If you tap it real quick, you'll feel the heat, but it's not going to burn you. Some people you got to tap and you out. Some people you can put your hand on them, not physically, but just you can be in their presence and a positivity, even if it's something that's not in your area of expertise. You see? But the fact that they're striving towards something, which will get you in the mindset that I should be striving towards something. And when you're moving towards something, you'll skim over the presence of a narcissist who's hidden to you at that time. Like the skimming rock I always talk about. When you take a smooth little stone and you're at the lake and you throw it and it jumps, you might get 3 skims or 4 skips or whatever, you know. But the more you can skip over these situations because you're moving towards something, movement protects you. Believe it or not. I remember I was riding my bike. I think this was 1980 or 81, 82. I think it was 81. 1981. I was, 17 and 18 years old. 17 early on. April came, then I was 18. And I was riding through Brooklyn late at night. And I just didn't know fear. I wasn't some tough guy, but I was adventurous. I'd go anywhere. I'd hop on the train and take my bike just before I'm driving and go over to some woman's house or hang out or just ride or leave the gym and not come straight home and ride from where I was into Brooklyn, or ride with a buddy and he has his bike. Now he's home in Brooklyn and it's midnight and I got to ride all the way back home. He said, man, call me when you get home. I'm like, I'm all right. They had no cell phones, no beepers or nothing. And so I'm riding through Brownsville, Brooklyn, and they had many abandoned buildings there. It was a rough, rough place. I have many friends from there and some that are doing very well at this point in their life. But I remember riding down this and I turned the corner. I was like, oh man, I wasn't a scaredy cat, but I was like, I gotta get through this block fast. Why? Because I knew if I was riding the bike fast, it was a real nice bike, and that was a poor neighborhood, that by the time somebody thought to do something, I was gone. So movement will protect you. What if I was walking the bike through the neighborhood? Then they would see me. Who are they? I saw dark buildings, right? And it was cold. There was a couple barrels that sort of had fire in it, but there were people who were there that I couldn't see because my eyes didn't adjust yet. And there were all these abandoned cars with tires. All of a sudden, tires started rolling out in the middle of the street to make me fall, to take my bike and take money and probably beat me down and kill me. Who knows? But I knew if I went through that block fast, man, I pedaled so hard. All I heard was, yo! That's all I needed to hear. I didn't know anybody on that block and I wasn't going to go back. Not in that dark. I got out of there. But the movement gave me protection. Preventing another narcissist from entering your life involves cultivating traits that make you less appealing to them and learning to recognize their tactics early on. Here are 10 tactics. This is the final segment of the show. We've been on for 1 hour and 48 minutes. I thought it would go on longer, but this is going to bring it on longer. Let me take a long sip of this lemon water, and we're going to get down on this one because this is something that everybody needs to know. Hold tight. Oh, yeah, church does have the most freaks. Tracy J. Yes, yes, yes. Don't ask me how I know. I know. It's another topic. I was always in a position to not find out stuff through gossip, but just see it right in the middle of it. I wasn't looking to catch anybody, but I can tell you some stories. But yeah, 10 traits to develop to repel narcissists. Number 1, strong boundaries. We spoke about that earlier. Clearly define your personal limits and consistently enforce them. Narcissists are less likely to engage with someone who won't tolerate their overstepping. Hear that? Overstepping and constantly enforce. That's what I extract from that short paragraph. Don't bend and don't tolerate their overstepping. The little steps they step over end up with big steps or more little steps. You look around, they up in your house, in your bedroom, up in your house, in your refrigerator. No. Mm-mm. No. Even if you have that one come over and you playfully, right? You don't know if they're narcissists yet, right? They're checking you out and they're giving you their best facade. And it could be somebody who's not a narcissist and they're real. And you get to know them where they can come over, maybe with one of your girlfriends or two of your girlfriends there, or maybe another male friend or something, a brother or something. And they come on in, everybody just gets in, and they go plop themselves down on the couch. Right? It's no big thing because you invited it in, but you're going to have to still say, hey, nobody told you that you have to ask before you sit down, but I'll let you slide. You can sit down. That's a joke, but that's letting them know. I'll let you slide with that one. But you're letting them know you saw that. Don't get too comfortable unless I make you comfortable in my premises. You see what I mean? Unless it's somebody who you could extend this to that you know. You know what I mean? Because even me and my friend from back in the day, and we're still friends now, but back in the day we were friends. I would go over his house, his parents' house, and they had to tell me it was all right to sit down every time I went into the living room. Oh, no, you can go ahead and sit down. Okay. I didn't know. I know these people for years. We like family because we like family. But I would never go past that and overstep. That makes them feel good that I'm showing them respect every time and not taking advantage of them. You see what I mean? Number 2, self-confidence. Cultivate a strong sense of self-worth. Narcissists tend to prey on those who they perceive as insecure or unsure of themselves. When you have self-worth, you walk a different way. When you have purpose, you walk a different way. Even if it's your day off and you're free to just take a slow walk, you still walk with purpose. I was telling a friend the other day, when I people watch, and I do keep my skills sharp, I can tell the man who don't have nothing else going on in his life but the way he walks. See? And yeah, you can walk slow. I'm not saying walking slow means you're lazy, not doing nothing, but you can tell the vibration of the person. It's like one person back in New York, man, you always walking like you late. It's like, no, I just can't wait to get where I have to go. And actually, I'm going to be early. Sense of purpose, enthusiasm. Like, we're doing this show, and I'm excited about what tomorrow's show is going to be. What we going to talk about? What we going to go in on? Neil Frazier's coming back Monday. I'm excited about that. I want to make some nice new banners and other stuff. I'm learning a new program. Maybe I don't learn it all the way by then, but it's a whole new look when you see the show. And I'll be able to do so much more. I'm checking out. I was in the bed, not sleeping, but I was looking through the phone on these tutorials, teaching myself this thing. Enthusiasm to learn. Man, you out there, man. You done retired. You sitting up there in Africa building that house. Why are you trying to learn all this, man? You old now. Enthusiasm is not just something divvied out to somebody with a smaller chronological age. Movement creates protection. Movement keeps you in the game. If I sit down and sit on my back porch or back balcony, let me just look back here and sip a little wine and smoke a joint and live my best life. If that's your best damn life, you a sorry sack of doo-doo. Don't put that on me. I'm going out. I'm going to die empty. Like Miles Monroe said. Not to sound too gory, but you don't have a squeezed bottle of ketchup or a squeezed bottle of mayonnaise or a squeezed bottle of mustard and squeeze it one time and put something on your hamburger or your chicken burger, whatever, and then throw it away. You got more inside of you. When you know that you have more inside of you, you move with confidence. I'm steamrolling right now. I know I'm going to sleep good tonight, but I'm not tired. I feel the fatigue of being up from early today, but in my spirit, I'm not tired. And I'm confident that we're going to do something good tomorrow. I don't know if I'll leave the house tomorrow. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. That's the kind of way I'm living right now. But whatever I do, it's going to be something. Oh, yeah, I have to leave out tomorrow. Toilet paper getting low. We don't want to too much information, right? But yeah, I got to go and pick up a few things tomorrow. But I'm going to enjoy every step in doing so. Every step I take in, every time I inhale the good air, the confidence in life. I made it this far. Ain't no narcissist going to come and try to chop me down. And like I said, narcissists will try to turn you around and say, oh, you uppity. Oh, you must be a narcissist. Don't call me you. Number 3, assertiveness. Be direct and firm in expressing your needs and desires. Narcissists are often deterred by individuals who confidently stand up for themselves. No, you're not going to talk to me any kind of way. If you think you're going to get away with talking to me any kind of way, you just best to just keep stepping. I don't need that in my life. I've been through too much. I know my value. I know my worth. Narcissists don't like talk like that. Oh, this is a tough one. I can't find those 3 holes in the bowling ball to get a grip on this one. They ain't got no voids inside of them. So this is a little bit too tough. Let me move on to the next one. They'll still try to smear your character because you intimidated them, because you're so confident and you're assertive, and they are not. Even when they act like they are not. They only act like that when they know that they have you sucked down of your life force, usually behind closed doors or away from people where they can show that face until you stand up to them, and then they want to cry victim and make you the bad person. And when they do, like I said, when the flying monkeys come around, the ones who believe their little stories, oh, I heard you're a terrible person. Oh, not only am I terrible, I'm extremely wicked and I'm nasty. Yeah, you're right, but you didn't get it all right. Agree with them. Don't try to force against, but no, they won't like you because of your assertiveness. They will not like you. Number 4, emotional detachment. Practice not getting overly emotionally involved with people too quickly. Narcissists often exploit emotional connections to manipulate. Of course. That's like saying, it's hot summertime, mosquitoes are flying around, and you whip open the screens on your window and all over the house, and you done ate half a watermelon, all kind of sugar running through your veins, and you gonna sleep near the window. You just saying, mosquitoes, come and get it. And so when you wake up scratching, is it a surprise that this is what happened? So you get overly emotional, you got to be, even if you are emotional, learn how to act detached. Learn how to be Mr. Spock with it. They used to play that little jingle every time he raised his eyebrows. Yeah. Even just control the outside part. Even if you do become emotional, because you know what? That'll always keep them guessing. They'll always keep guessing. But like, again, by the time it gets to that point where they have to guess, they're on the way out. That means they're going to try to sink their claws deeper into you. It's like the sport of boxing. It's like animals, right? Animals who are wounded or scared, because narcissists get scared, they'll lose that control. That's when they're the most dangerous. That's when they will mount a more aggressive attack on you. You see? So you got to be careful. I saw an MMA match that popped up on my screen actually, right? On YouTube. And this guy was hitting this guy with body shots, and the one guy was about to collapse. And when the other guy moved in for the kill, he came with a right cross and knocked him straight out. And he was still holding his side. You know what I mean? So when somebody's hurt, that goes for anybody. That's when they're the most dangerous. But a narcissist, and you show emotional detachment, assertiveness, self-confidence, and strong boundaries, oh for you to come up under their watch when they had you beat down and almost written off, left for dead. I don't mean actually leaving life, but everything going out of you. You don't take care of yourself anymore. You don't call your friends. You don't have any outside relationships righteous. You don't go to your favorite restaurant anymore. You don't wear your nice clothes anymore. You just gave up on life. That's where they want you. That's where they're licking their chops. Like when you go to the chicken joint and you done suck the bones, ate all the meat off of it, and now you have nothing but bones left. You're like, ah. But that's more righteous than a narcissist. But they don't leave no chicken on the bones of you. You see what I mean? Independence. Develop a life that doesn't rely on others for validation or happiness. Narcissists target people they can control, so self-reliance is a powerful repellent. Even if you don't have a car and a narcissist offers on a Saturday, well, I'll take you driving, whatever. No, I'll meet you at the supermarket. Well, who are you going to have bring your groceries home? No, I got a friend who's coming by to meet me, but I'd love to see you. Now, I'm not saying you're inviting the narcissist when you know the narcissist, but keep the boundaries up for a while. Let them see how you move in life. Let them see that you're not so quick to open the floodgates of them to fill the voids in your life and turn around and cause you to implode and explode. See? There's not too many parking spaces in your life for them to pull up in. If there's no parking spaces, no gaps, they got to keep moving. And maybe the one who is right for you may see this and appreciate these traits of strong boundaries, knowing that ain't no man just going to ease up in her life. Self-confidence. A man wants a woman who's confident, and he's not intimidated by your confidence. And when you're assertive, and if you're emotionally detached, that means you're not all the way thirsty or needy. And when you do get an attachment and you do bond, he appreciates it more because he knows that you're not just trying to cling on to anybody. Your independence could be a breath of fresh air. Wayward men want you to be dependent on them in a bad way. Good men appreciate you to be independent, but when you become dependent on the man and he's a good man, it validates him. I'm your husband. I'm your man. I'm supposed to take care of you. The money in the bank is ours, even though I may have made that in that account. This is your money. Now, if you have a woman who's not worthy, that's no good. Oh, really? I'm going shopping today with the mortgage money. No, you don't want that. I'm talking about a good woman. It works both ways. Right? Critical thinking, number 6. Be skeptical and question the motives behind others' actions. The motivations. Narcissists use charm and deception, but a critical mind can see through their facade. Critical thinking. They don't like that. But they'll still try you, though. They'll still try. I'm not talking about mosquitoes so much tonight. Try to wish away that mosquito to keep bothering, and they always go for the ears. To the point where you just have to get up, turn the lights on, and find that bad boy. Crush him, spray him, do whatever you got to do. Because see, they will keep on trying. Even when they know that you can see through it, it's a challenge for them. Because the prize, again, is your life force. They loved especially a woman who has it all together. And I'm not saying there's any perfect situation, because you as a woman, you want to have a decent man when you're ready for the man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. See, in today's mindset, and social media, and some of the younger generations, everybody don't need nobody. I don't see too many other races saying that. I don't see too many Chinese women, Asian. I don't need mine. No, you know you need a man, and the man needs you. Why can't we need each other? It's crazy out here, right? Number 7, high self-respect. Value yourself enough to walk away from situations or people that don't treat you well. Narcissists are less likely to engage with those who won't tolerate disrespect. Boom, right there. Let's say it again. Narcissists are less likely to engage with those who won't tolerate disrespect. They already know. If you stop them at the door, they ain't going to get in all the way with the way they want to carry on with you. That's just a fact. They won't. So keep that self-respect high and show the world that you love yourself, you take care of yourself, you're independent, you set boundaries. All these things are repellents to that potential narcissist who wants to rob you because he don't love you. He don't love you like I love you. I'm getting all these 70s flashbacks with music. Number 8, empathy with discernment. While empathy is a wonderful trait, use discernment to avoid giving too much to those who may take advantage of your kindness. See, you can give those who don't take advantage of your kindness the hookup of you because they appreciate you and they're not going to demand more out of you. So you got to have discernment with the empathy. You can't stop being empathetic to the wonderful people in your life who are proven products. They're not products, but that's just the way I talk. But here goes some old stranger that you have no getting up in line to receive your empathy. So you got to discern him. You know, when you have a good friend, know them for decades. You grew up together. Even if you didn't, you know them for a long time, you know their character. And you all are standing out on your front porch or by your front door, which everybody has a different living situation. Let's just say it's a house and you by the gate. And other friends are sitting on the stoop. And you got one friend there, get ready to go use the bathroom. They don't have to ask you. They'll tell you, listen, girl, this conversation good, but I got to pay the water bill. And then you say, well, after you're done, go on up in my room on the side of the table and grab that bit of money because I got to give this kid some money for cutting my grass and bring me one of them drinks out the refrigerator. That's when you know somebody. And you know who they are. You know their character. They can go all up in your private whatever and come back with it. Just like the little kid that you knew from birth. You know his mama, his grandmama, whatever. Here, boy, take this $20 and get this thing for me. It's only $12. You can keep the change and get what you want. You know the character. But that narcissist, who you don't know is a narcissist, they got to get a credit check because, like I said, ain't nobody went to the bank and asked for a $500,000 loan and they gave it to them because they're nice acting and they smile. No, credit check. Let's see if you pay your bills on time. Let's see if what you earn on your job or your business or whatever you have coming on in can handle the responsibility of paying this loan back. You don't give credit to a stranger. And a stranger in their right mind should not think that you just going to extend yourself that way. Because if you do, they're going to say to themselves in their mind, I got me a fool here. That's what they're going to say. That's exactly what they're going to say. Number 9, clear communication. Be transparent and clear in your communication. Narcissists often thrive on ambiguity. So clarify. Or clarity can stop their manipulative tactics. Be very clear in the contract of you. Be very clear what can and can't happen. Oh no, this won't happen. I hope you don't think that so-and-so and so-and-so. Why would you find yourself at my door right before the Category 5 hurricane hits? And it's Friday night. And you heard I went food shopping and I'm going to be home by myself for the weekend. And here you go showing up right before the hurricane makes landfall in about 20 minutes. Well, you know what? You better take that 20 minutes and find your car where it needs to be because it won't be up in here. Manipulative tactics. That's the oldest trick in the book. Oh, girl, it's 10 minutes before it hits. I don't want to. boy, I don't want nothing to happen to you. I didn't plan on this, and I don't really know you, but come on in. Fool. I hate to say that, but don't be a fool. Number 10, resilience. Strengthen your emotional resilience to recover quickly from setbacks. Narcissists seek to undermine your stability, but resilience will make you a less appealing target. Undermine your stability. That's what I see out of that paragraph. You're very appetizing when you're stable. Stable income, stable place of residence, living by yourself. Even if you're not, you can still be stable and live with family, right? But that makes it even, because he can come over and work his show. Stability and how you must be budgeting things, right? You're driving a vehicle. It doesn't have to be a luxury vehicle, but you're driving an all right vehicle. He's assessing you. He's sizing you up. It takes life force to have your act together in this world. As expensive as things are, as trying as things are on your mental health, and just different stuff for you to. So I applaud all of you in this chat room. Even when you go through things, you've been here. I know many of you on different levels, but I know that you all are stable, whether you're working a job now or not, whether you have a man now or not, whether you relocated or you have things you want to do or things might be tight, you're stable because you stabilize yourself. You have the ability. Like that vehicle I was telling you about yesterday that has good shocks and springs, and you got the coffee in the middle console, and you may see the top of the coffee vibrate, but it ain't spilling all over the place because the suspension keeps everything steady up top, and it takes the brunt of it under the bottom. So your stability will draw narcissists to you, but you let them know with your clear communication how it has to be. You see what I'm saying? Let me see some of these comments here. When you say flying monkey, I think of a bit from the movie The Wiz. No, the flying monkeys. Yeah. Ebos. Welcome, brother. How are you, brother? Thank you so much for being here. And Riri says, you're right, Tracy. Eddie Long, Power Bottom TD Snakes. Kirk Franklin. Oh, did you say Kirk Curl? Was it a typo? The list goes on. Yeah. Ooh, I haven't done a church show in a long time. I tell some good old church stories, right? John Tracy says it's similar to a stick up, but in slow motion. Yeah. When they come after your life force and your stability, forget it. Forget it. But like always, before I sign off, because that was the last of the bulleted points that I conjured up earlier. If you want to say something for a few minutes, because my voice is going, and I'm 4 hours ahead of the East Coast, which is only, what time is it now? 11:13. But up in the mountains, it seems later. Because I mean, from like 3 in the afternoon, there's no noise. 5 in the afternoon, 7. So when it gets dark, it's like I've been up all night. No, I got to nibble on something, put a little more protein in my system, a little more hydration in my system, make a phone call here or two, and then sign off. But I hope that the information and everything there has been good to you. What I'm going to do, anybody wants to come on in, let me know. And I'm going to go on this other computer and put the link to the writing, which I always do. It's on Lancescurv.com. But on this computer, I don't want to make any mistakes, so I'm going to do it right over here. Let me, yeah, but I the bitter woman thing, I got to get on that. The bitter woman thing, and there was another thing that we said. That sticks out in my head. And I'm going to go in the church thing. Got to have a church show this week. Got to go in on the church again. They got away from me for a while. But I saw TD Snakes and Kirk Franklin and this one and that one. I was like, listen, that's a reminder. Got to go in on it. Okay, let me get to the channel here so I can drop this link. Okay, let's see. Okay, While that goes there, let me grab it, nab it. And I'll check some of the comments before I sign off. If no one comes in, that's fine. I'll always extend that. All right, video, come on, you're taking too much time. Did I pin anything in the chat room recently? No, I didn't. Okay, I'm going to pin this in a second. I'm going to pin it in a second. Here's the title. Now, let me get the actual link. You can feel free to leave comments on the website. It'll always be there forever, and it won't be removed like they are on YouTube sometimes. YouTube plays some funny business, man. You know, and they already know me, so it's like, he's behaving himself. He's not coming close to the line. Yes, I am. I just know how to do it. And I'm not going to be discouraged. Okay. There's the comment. Or there's the link. And let's pin it to the top. Everybody pin it to the top. We're gonna stomp all night. Doom, 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 doom. Okay, there we go. All right, it should be up top. For all those in the future who want to listen to the show, because the link is there. And the link is not on YouTube, but it's the same video, but it's on Rumble. So if YouTube plays their games again, they can't touch me. Doom, 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 doom. Okay, let me see. I have another comment here. Is this the Cynthia Owens that I know and love? Lance, please do another church video with Daughter of Zion. You did with her several years ago. She was so funny. Yes, she was. I gotta find her. Yes, I know where she is, but I'm in Africa, so I gotta dig deep. Haven't spoken to her in a while, but yeah. Daughter of Zion. I gotta see if I can resuscitate that particular video, because my almost 6,000 videos were taken away, but I have most of them in different. So it's a lot of work. There's a lot of shows I'm gonna put up that are old, and I have to say sometimes the audio quality wasn't as good. I will, Cynthia. Yes, I will. The audio quality wasn't as good, and so when I read, I may put a new banner or something. So people are like, "Oh, this show doesn't sound too." I'm like, "Listen, it's an old show. No excuse, but things are better now." But listen, I'm going to sign off now, but it has been a wonderful fellowship. I like these kind of shows. I like this kind of thing. And sometimes I get a little busy and I'll start recording things and throw it up. But my modus operandi is to have mainly the live show in the evening, and in the daytime earlier, record stuff and throw it up. I love these evening shows. And if I don't do it, just bear with me. And maybe something that came up, or I had to go somewhere and can't get back in time or whatever. But I like to keep my hands moving. So it's not like, even those who may have donated, oh yeah, he got a little bit of $10 here, a little $50, a little $100 here, and now he getting lazy. No, I love this. Most people would have quit after losing a whole channel. See what I mean? This is what I do. I can't stop. So if I'm a boxer and I lose a championship, oh, I'm quitting now because I ain't champion. No, I'm a champion, so I'm going to keep on going until I get it again. You know what I mean? So that's what it's all about. Living it, being it. Not just, I'm trying to get hits to be popular. I'm trying to make money. We all need money. Things cost money. So what? About what feeds your soul, what feeds your spirit, what you like to do, what you were put here to do. You can't tell God, well, you better give me money if you want me to do that. Well, it's like, hey, if it's that like that, you don't need life then, do you? You know what I mean? That's the ultimate. We're all here for a reason, even if we don't know what our purpose is in the toolbox of life. We're going to find out. Sometimes early, sometimes later, but we're always going to find out. Some people don't find any purpose until they're 95 years old. They had to go through all kind of stuff. Within a 6-month period, they did it before they left this plane. Some people know it from early. Ask Michael Jackson. When he was 5 years old, his father was on him like that, but he knew certain things. And he was pushed and he didn't have a childhood, but he was sacrificed. And he was sacrificed transitioning, right? But the life was a sacrifice to bring us joy, even though he went through pain. And may he rest in peace and be forever rewarded. That's what it's all about, And I'm going to show this the bottom part of the banner, which Let me see here. Most people didn't see Unmasking the Narcissist. Once you figure them out, it all makes sense. That's the honest truth. Once you have them figured out, it's like a fighter who has a rematch, and I know your style. I know what you're going to do, so I'm going to beat you easy this time. And see, once you deal with one of these narcissists, it will never, ever happen again. But anyway, much love to you all as always. I'm going to wet my whistle. I'm going to have a little bite or something, not too much because it's late. I'm going to lay down and just, I can't say relax because I'm relaxed right now. I'm in a good zone right now. And I thank you for that. I thank you for spending the time here with me. And I enjoyed it equally as much. You, just the same way you enjoyed the time with each other. We will be back again tomorrow night. I will create the link early and create the show and the article and the bulleted points and put it out early. And so I'll distribute it out there so you can see. Anyway, thank you for helping me to fulfill my purpose in this day, in this life. And I wish you the same. And do know that I love you all very much. Have a wonderful night. Take care. And I'll see you tomorrow. Peace and love.
Hello, this is Martha. Actually, today I got to meet my friend Lance. Yes, I got to meet my friend Lance. This is my first time meeting him in person, and he's a very kind man, seriously. I do talk with him on phone, on WhatsApp, but I've never got to meet him. But today, he's just extraordinary. He's very, anything you want to know about life, anything you want to know about just human, anything you want to know about life, please. YouTube, Telegram, Instagram, Twitter, all the social media channels, you got to find him there. He's very inspiring. He's very positive. If you want anything positive about life, please subscribe to Lancescurv. And then every day you got to see different videos, different talks, different topics about life. See you.